President Biden is arriving for the G20 summit in India just about an hour from now. China's Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin are skipping that gathering. China's premier will be there, but the White House says that Biden has no plans to meet with him. Joining me now is Michigan Congressman John James. He's a member of the Foreign Affairs and Transportation and Infrastructure Committees. He's also an Iraq War veteran. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
What do you expect or what do you want to see from President Biden on the world stage? There is a lot at stake right now, whether it's China, Taiwan, Russia, or Ukraine.
What do I expect? Nothing. What do I want? Leadership. President Biden seems to make America weaker on the world stage every single time he travels abroad. And now he's taking his jumbo jets with his entourage to lecture India and the global south on climate change while he's contributing to some of the behaviors that contribute to something they say is so serious. We need to make sure that we are leading by example. And as a result of this perceived hypocrisy, the global south is being turned against us by Russia and China. Going to the G20, which is just another acronym and number to describe Western nations who continue to use finger-wagging foreign policy to get them on board, where China and Russia are literally eating our lunch in the global south. We need to execute our strength of economy. We need to make sure we bring back our energy independence and that we export that goods, higher quality goods at better cost to benefit our economy and theirs. And we need to also make sure we fire up American manufacturing to make sure we project our strength abroad.
Well, certainly, you mentioned China, you mentioned Russia. China is actually sending a delegation, we've learned, led by the vice premier, to North Korea tomorrow. And this is just after North Korea claimed Kim Jong-un is planning to go to Moscow to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. How concerned are you, really from a military perspective, on this?
Yeah, military perspective, what I see is our alliances are weakening and they're being hit at the edges. And the biggest threat that I see that no one's talking about is nuclear proliferation. Right now you have a BRICS that just met a few weeks ago, and they agreed to expand. And this is including courting countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia. Now, if you think that Russia is not going to allow Iran to have the technology to build a nuke, you're sorely mistaken. So what's that mean? Saudi Arabia is not going to let Iran have a nuke without them having a nuke. And then what's that mean? Israel is going to be looking to arm up as well. And so now we can allow no public space between America and Israel. We must stand up for the most important democracy in the Middle East. And so now you're going to lead to a world where you have the BRICS aligning with the likes of North Korea, Russia, China, and oh, by the way, they're also courting Mexico. We need to be bright-eyed about what's going on. We need to have American leadership, and we're not seeing the strength out of this administration that we so desperately need around the world.
Well, obviously, there's a lot happening around the world. Of course, the G20 is going to be this weekend. Vladimir Putin not there, Xi Jinping not there, but a lot is at stake with different parts of the world and pockets. But back here at home, your colleagues, you're coming back to work next week. And the government's going to run out of money on October 1st. Congressman, you've got a bill that would prevent members of Congress from getting paid if the government shuts down. I think you might be the first congressperson this week that is trying to avoid a government shutdown or at least not get it down to the wire. Tell me more about what you want to do here.
Look, my people in here in the 10th Congressional District in Michigan don't believe that you should get rich in D.C. off the taxpayers' dime. They don't think that frankly, getting elected to political office should be a retirement plan for the powerful. And all these people out there talking about we need to sacrifice and serve the American people. All right, well, put your money where your mouth is. I have a put your money where your mouth is that says if you don't do your job, you don't get paid. We don't get a choice in the business world whether or not we pay our employees, take care of our customers, and make sure our shareholders are taken care of. We have to do it all. In the military, we don't get a choice of whether or not we bring our soldiers back home or we accomplish mission. We have to do both. And just like in Washington, D.C., I expect our politicians to cut this wasteful spending, but also do so without penalizing American people who desperately need the services that the government provides. We have to do both. Put your money where your mouth is. Please support my bill because if politicians don't do their job, they shouldn't get paid.
Well, Congressman, I think you're preaching to the choir on there, especially from a business perspective. Congressman John James, Congressman, thank you for being here. Thank you for your service to our country. We certainly appreciate it, and we will see you next week in Washington.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right.